Alright guys, I got firefighter Rowan and firefighter Wally with me today, and we're going to go through our Minuteman hose load and some other types of hose loading, as well as advancing into a structure that's involved. Entry command now established. Be advised, we have smoke emanating from the second story. Tack 1, I'm going to get you to pull a cross leg, I'm going to get you set up on the Alpha Delta corner for an interior push. We have no access to Charlie. Brake pumper 5, get you to assume RIT and water supply. So we've done the deployment. Now we're going to show you how to repack the hose. So what we've done is we've broken apart all the hose and we've drained it. And we've laid it out in a manner in which we can start repacking the hose. So what you guys will find when you get to the hose is the couplings will be marked 1, 2, 3, and 4. So basically you line them up as the hose connected to the truck is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 will have the nozzle. We're going to start by doing the pack first, and then once the pack is done, then we'll repack the truck. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect the two hoses together. So 3 and 4, we're going to connect them. I'll bring that one up too, the coupling. we're going to do is we're going to start with the nozzle first. So Troy's going to lay down the roof hook, and this is going to be our length guide. So the very first thing we want to do is we want to create our protection loop. Once we have our protection loop, this is going to be placed on the bottom. So our length of pack is going to be the length of the roof hook. So we'll start our fold here. Okay. Yeah, so this one here is your, this is your loop. Just make a loop anywhere in there. Our length is good.
We'll mess up the bullet.
So you're noticing that loops 3 and 5 are left long. Those are our pull loops. Over. There we go. Okay, so that's what the shoulder load's going to look like. These loops, depending on how tight and far away you pack, your loops might be shorter or longer. That's how it generally looks. So we're going to go ahead. Now we're going to strap it. So you guys are going to notice the way we have the straps laid out. So when you're stacking your bundle, you have the roof hook at your knees, you have the nozzle on the back side, and we're going to put the pull tabs towards myself. So Troy's going to lift up the side of the bundle. I'm going to feed the strap through, and what's going to happen is when I go to tighten this up, my pull tab is going to be at the top of the bundle. So then we're going to throw our second pull tab in the middle, and again, tab at the top. So the only thing that's going to be different right now is we're going to enclose this section here. If this is longer, it could be over here, but we want to make sure that we don't bundle it in the middle because we want this to be able to move over in the hose bed of the truck. So the last one we do is the side. So the reason that we want to have the tabs at the top is because when this is sitting in the hose bed like this, we don't want to have the tabs being ripped apart as we slide it out of the truck. So that's the shoulder load. The shoulder load is done. We're going to leave it on the ground for now. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the split load on the side. So we're going to connect the two hoses together. If you want to connect the hoses at the bottom. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go up on the truck and we're going to start laying the hose into the truck. So on this side here, guys, all we're going to do is we're just going to feed it in the truck. The only thing we want to make sure is when we get to half stack, we want to leave loops on either side, and those are going to be marked as well. And again, this is a single stack, so it's going up vertically on one side only. So your loops that you'll be leaving hanging off the truck will be on your loop number 5. As you can see, we have a mark right here. And then just leave a loop on your side too, correct? So on the other side of the truck, we're doing the same loop so that we can pull from both sides. And then again for number 6, it goes back into the bed and we resume stacking as normal. So you're going to notice that the male coupling is now going to be left on the top of the stack. I'm going to hold that. So now Firefighter Wally's going to hold the stack up and I'm going to slide in the shoulder load. So now what Firefighter Wally is going to be doing on top is he's going to be connecting the male and the female couplings that are sitting on the top of the 2 stacks, connecting those together, and then the hose is going to be loaded. While he's doing that, we'll talk about the other side. So this is the primary deployment direction for the front cross lay, which is aimed towards the driver's side. However, if we need 2 lines off the driver's side, the rear lay is facing towards the passenger side, but we can still pull with the use of the loops, and these loops shoulder the load and deploy off the truck. So it is a bi-directional deployment. However, it is geared for individual sides. The only thing we have to remember is when you drop your shoulder load, if you're going the opposite direction, just to flip your pack around and drop it so your nozzle is always facing the fire. That being said, hose is reloaded and we're good to go back to the station. Okay guys, so what we're going to go through now is we're going to do the same deployment as earlier, but we're going to go through slow. One thing to note is right now we don't have a long loop right here, but we're going to be adding a loop right here. So it'll be easier to shoulder the load, and we'll show that in at the end of the video. We'll do an amendment and we'll show you how to make that loop a little bit bigger. So Troy's going to be lead, I'm going to be backup. So my role as backup is I'm going to let him clear the bed. He's going to deploy his load by himself. Once the coupling goes tight, I'm going to make sure that the bed is clear, and then I'm going to follow the hose towards the lead. As I'm going along, I'm going to be freeing up any kinks. I'm going to make sure it's not wrapped around any obstacles, through anything, any pinch points, and basically get the line flaked in such a manner that it's not going to impede us going interior or moving around the building doing a defensive attack. So Troy's going to go ahead and he's going to shoulder the load.
Having that longer nozzle protection loop is going to aid in removing the shoulder load from the bed. As you can see, Firefighter Wally is having a little bit of trouble just reaching that hose pack, so then the new nozzle protection loop is going to help alleviate those issues. So what's happening right now is, as backup, I'm flaking the hose, make sure that it's done properly.
So right now you can see that the rear portion of the lay has been flaked, it's stretched clear, there's no kinks. Our lead or nozzleman has the bundle up at the door that we're going to be making entry on. So now he's ready to blow apart the pack. So as simple as that, he's going to grab the two tails. He's going to move back. He's going to shake them as he goes. What he's doing now is he's bringing up that 50-foot coupling. My job as backup is to make sure that this line is going to be free. Frozen hose is not really nice to work with. So now I've done a quick clear. Troy's going to be setting his nozzle, making sure that he has proper flow, proper pattern. What he's going to do too is if he notices when he charges his line that these are too small, he's going to bump the nozzle rapidly, and what it's going to do is it's going to shake this open. And it's going to blow this apart. Right now the lay doesn't look as nice as possible because we are using frozen hose, so it has a pretty good crispy memory to it. However, with hose that's fresh out of the barn, it's going to flake a lot nicer, and you guys seen that in the first run. You've seen the hose was flaked a lot nicer.
So one thing that we really want to emphasize, guys, is a PPE buddy check prior to entry or an exterior attack. So what you're looking for is you want to make sure that that head-neck interface around your mask, so the balaclava, is done up nice. You also want to make sure that your regulator is clipped in properly, so give it a little bit of a tug. Make sure that it's seated properly. If it does become detached, give a good clip back in. Mine's detached just specifically for this training video. In real life, it would be connected. So PPE check, guys. Like, if your PPE is not done up correctly, it's a no-go, hands down. Any member on the fireground reserves the right to call it on safety. So do your PPE, please. You're going to see why here in a second. This is what happens when your PPE is not done up correctly. You can see it's a very severe injury, and you're permanently damaged for life, right? So always do up your PPE.
Now in this case here, we have our 50-foot coupling. So if he's going interior right now, yeah, you can go ahead in. I'll grab this backup. So he's going interior as backup. I'm bringing my 50-foot coupling in with me, and that I'm going to leave this 50-foot coupling. If I know I'm not going deep, I'm going to bring the 50-foot coupling and drop it inside the threshold of the door so it doesn't get caught. If I know I am going in deep, say I'm going to the second floor, I'm going to bring this coupling more than likely down to the landing of the stairs. So you're going to be pulling a bit of hose as you go in, but once you get to the stairs, you're going to drop the coupling, and then you're going to flake up. Okay guys, so we're going to show you right now is how to pack the hose back at the hall. So once everything's washed up, how to pack her nice. So we've already done the split lay in the hose bed, and now we're going to do the hose pack.
Ready? So we're leaving just a little bit of tail. Don't want to have it pinch. You're not messing with the coupler. And then we're going to push tail up just a little bit. Feed this through.
So one thing guys you might notice is that this is a little bit different. So we've added a pull loop to the nozzle end.
just to assist in taking the shoulder load out of the bed of the truck. Then they're going to use their 6-foot roof hook to set their length of the hose. So as you can see, they're following the length of the roof hook. This hose is going to be remarked anyways. But so on your third loop, so this is loop number 3, you're going to leave a pull loop on the rear side. And again, these will be marked when they're on the truck. So then on number 5, so loop 5 is another pull loop. And again, that loop will be marked as well. We currently have temporary markings on the hose just as we develop this kit. But there will be permanent markings on the hose when you guys get to the truck. So now they're going to get the straps, and like we mentioned before, when you lay the straps on top of the bundle, you want the pull tabs facing you, so that way when you bundle the pack, the pull tabs are at the top of the shoulder load. So now working as a team, Firefighter Wally and Firefighter Rowan are bundling the pack. The nozzle pack is the one that has to be the tightest. So again guys, when you're putting the straps on the hose pack, you want to try and get them as tight as possible. The tighter the straps, the more manageable the pack is. So the less room for the hose to come apart on you as you're maneuvering on the fire ground. And again guys, we want to make sure that we only bundle this coupling here. I know the length is short, but we want to make sure that we leave that female coupling loose so that we can cross it over in the hose bed. And now that is the shoulder load. And so now what's going to happen is they're going to insert the shoulder load into the truck nozzle first, because we're on the passenger side.
I'll go up and pull.
So now what they're doing now is they're just positioning the pack accordingly. And then in the bed, they're going to couple the hose together.
And all the hoses are marked 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and then N. Just to clarify any confusion.
Yeah, so what he means by that is when we've deployed our hose, we break apart our hose to drain everything. When we go, because the hose is going to be permanently marked for the loops, we want to make sure that the hose goes back together in the same way. So on the couplings itself, there's going to be numbers, so match the numbers together. And if it has an N, it's N for nozzle, and then that's going to be how it's going to be. And that'll be on both sets of cross lays.
Thanks guys, this is all we have for you tonight. We hope that this makes deploying this hose a lot easier for you, and we look forward to deploying it on the training and fire grounds with everyone in the future.